Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about functions in detail. So I request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. First let me define what is a function. Function is a collection of statements that are used to perform a particular task. In function definition, we will write a set of statements. If we execute the set of statements, we will finish a particular task. So I hope you have understood the definition of a function. Now let me discuss what is the need for a function. To make you understand the need for a function, let me discuss the concept called divide and conquer technique. In divide and conquer technique, we have a problem P and it is tedious task to find a solution for the problem P. Let's assume. Then what I will do is that for this problem P, I will divide into smaller problems such as P1, P2 and P3. I have divided the problem P into P1, P2, P3. Now I will find the solutions for each problem such as S1, S2, S3. If I integrate the solutions S1, S2, S3 and I will get a solution S. This solution S is the solution for the given problem P. So we have divided and we have integrated or conquered. So that's why it is called as divide and conquer technique. Now you can ask me how it is related to the function. Suppose let's take that a client has given a project for you. This project you will divide into certain modules. And those modules if I combine, then I will get the final solution for the given project. Am I right? So these modules you can even call it as a functions. Is it clear? That concept we will call it as modular programming. Is it clear? So now let me discuss how the functions are broadly classified. The functions are broadly classified into two types. One is the user defined functions and predefined functions. Okay, now the predefined functions we already discussed and we have used certain functions such as printf, we have discussed about the scanf and we have strrev to reverse the string and we have the strcmp to compare the two strings. Okay, and we have the power function, we have the square root function. Like that we have various predefined function because C is a robust language which has the rich inbuilt functions and operators. So we have various inbuilt or predefined functions. To use these predefined functions, you need to include the header file. Am I right? To use the printf and scanf functions, you need to use the stdio.h header file. To use these functions strrev to reverse the string and to compare the strings, then you need to include the string.h header file. To use the functions called power and sqrt, you need to include the header file called math.h. So these are the predefined functions. Now in the predefined functions, we will not look at the function definition. We will just call the function. Am I right? We are writing a function called printf and we are writing welcome. Then it is giving the output as welcome for you. But what is the function definition of the printf? We are not looking. We are just calling the function. Now let me discuss what is a user defined function. User defined functions means we will only write the function definition, we will only give a name to the function and we will only call the function. So entirely the user or the programmer is doing that one. So the functions which are written by the programmer or the user, we will call them as user defined functions. We will declare the function, we will define the function and we will call the function. Okay, now let me discuss what are the things will be there in the functions. As I said just now, we have the function declaration, okay, and we have the function definition and we have the function calling. Okay, now let me discuss about function declaration, definition and function calling in detail. Then you will understand the use of the function also. The main use of the functions concept is reusability. That I will discuss with a small program so that you will understand with a practical example. Now let me discuss what is the function declaration or how to declare a function. The function declaration consists of following things such as return type, okay, function name, and a collection of parameters or arguments. Okay, you will have data type 1, data type 2, so on. You can end with a semicolon. So this is the generalized syntax of declaring a function. You will have a return type. This return type can be any one of the predefined, what you call, not predefined, primary data types such as int. We have the various primary data types such as int, float, char and void. Am I right or wrong? You can specify any one of the predefined or primary data types. Okay, if you specify the return type here, then meaning is that this function will return the corresponding data type value. Suppose if you are specifying here int, okay, if you are specifying the int, then it will tell that this function will return an integer constant. If you write the float as a return type, the meaning is that this function will return a real constant. If you are writing a char here, the meaning is that the function will return a character constant. If you write a void, then meaning is that this function will not return any value. So if you are writing the return type as int, it will return an integer constant, float means real constant, char means character constant, void means it does not return anything. Now, what is the need of a function name? The function name will tell the name of the function. Now you already know what are the rules you need to follow for creating a variable. Okay, all those rules you should apply for the writing the name of a function. The name of the function should be a meaningful one. Suppose let's take that here in this function you want to compute the maximum of 2 elements. Then you can write the max as the function name. Are you able to understand? Some meaningful name based on what task you are doing. Is it clear? Then the data types, what are the inputs you are taking? Is it clear? So you need to declare the function before writing the function definition, because whenever we are using a variable, before using that we need to declare the variable. So similarly, before using a function, you need to declare a function. Now the function declaration will tell you what is the return type, what is the name of the function, how many parameters or arguments are there, what are the data types of each one. Suppose let's take that, I will discuss with one example. Let's take that return type I am specifying is int and max, and I am specifying int comma int. Let's take like this. This is the example for function declaration. Now the return type here it is int and name of the function is max. How many parameters are there? 2 parameters are there. What is the data type of the first parameter? Int is, and second one is int. So this function is taking 2 arguments and their data types are int and int. Is it clear? So that is what the declaration will consist of. Even in the declaration, if you want, you can specify like this also, int max, int a, variable name you can specify also, a comma int b. Like this also you can specify, but lot of times you can see like this because the variable name in the functional declaration is optional. Okay, so this is the generalized syntax of function declaration. Now let me discuss function definition. Okay, the function definition will again consist of a return type, okay, a return type, function name, and you will have the data type, variable name, okay, or let me write it is v1, saying that it is variable 1. You have a data type, variable v2, okay, and you will have a open braces and curly braces. what are the statements you want to write, you will write in this function definition. Okay, this one we will call it as function body. Okay, now look at this one. What are the return type you have used in the function declaration? The same return type you should use. If you are writing the return type here as int, then here also you should write it as an int. And the name of the function in the function declaration and function definition should be same. Okay, and the number of data types, meaning is that number of parameters. Okay, and the sequence of the parameters also should be same. Here if you are specifying int comma int, here also you should specify int variable name comma int variable 2. Is it clear? Are you able to understand what are the statements you want to write here? All the statements you will write here. So the return type should be same, the function name should be same, and the number of parameters and their sequence also should be same. But in the function definition, you will not end with the semicolon. You will open the curly braces, and what are the statements you want to write, all the statements you will write, and you will close the curly braces. But in the function declaration, it will end with the semicolon. And remember one thing. Let me give an example. Let's take that you are writing the return type as int and max, and you can write like int a comma int b. Here the variable names are compulsory, whereas in the function declaration the variable names are optional, but here the variable names are compulsory. Okay, now these variables we will call it as formal parameters or formal arguments. I will discuss what is in actual parameters and formal parameters, then I will discuss this one, but you can remember this point. What are the parameters we are specifying in the function definition? We will call them as formal parameters. Okay, so I hope you have understood about the function declaration and function definition. Now let me discuss what is the function calling. Inside another function, you will call this particular function. Suppose let's take that in a main function, I am calling this max function. So I will write max and I will specify the values to the parameters or the variables. Suppose let's take that I have the variables like int x comma y. Okay, these variables I will pass to this function. Okay, so you will specify the name of the function, number of parameters, and what are those variables values also. Okay, so you have x and y are the two variables, they are integer type and you are specifying it. Now these parameters we will call them as actual parameters. Okay, are you able to understand? So function declaration, function definition and function calling we have discussed. Now let me discuss with a simple example so that you will understand the concept in a better way. Let me write a C program to find the maximum of two numbers using a function. Okay, so I will have hash include stdio.h. This is the standard input output header file. Then I need to specify the function declaration before the main. So the return type is int and the name of the function is max, and I am using two parameters and the data types are int and int. Okay, so this will tell the return type, name of the function, number of parameters. Now you need to open the main function. So you are specifying the return type here as void and name of the function is main and the number of parameters here are 0. Now you can understand this one, correlate it. Here main is also a function and void is a keyword and the number of parameters are 0. Is it clear? Whereas the number of parameters here is 2. Void main. Then you can ask the user to enter the two values. To enter and to store them, you need to create a variable such as a and b and the data type is int. Okay, now I will ask the user to enter the a value and b value. Enter a and b values. Okay, once the user has entered the a and b values, I can write a scanf %d %d ampersand a and ampersand b. Why I am writing percentage d as a format specifier? Because they are integer variables, and whatever the value you are reading, that values you need to store it in the address location of variable a and address location of variable b. Now what I will do is that I will write int c is equal to max of a comma b. I am writing it. Then I am writing a statement called printf. The maximum value is percentage d c, and then I am writing the get ch. So this is my main function. Now if you look at this one, this is the function declaration or function prototype, and this is the function calling. Now let me write the function definition of the max function, which is a user defined function. Okay, so it will have the return type should be int. Okay, because in the function declaration you specified the return type as int, you need to write, and name of the function should also match as max. And what are the parameters you are taking? Let me take it as int x comma y, and then I am checking here if x is greater than y. Okay, are you able to understand? Then you are specifying as return x. Okay, are you able to understand? Else return y. Okay, and you are closing this one. Are you able to understand it or not? Let me discuss with a simple example. This is your function definition, this is your function prototype or function declaration, and this is the function calling. Now let's take that user has entered the a value as some 20 and b value as some 30. Okay, now you have entered that one and you have read it. That's good. Now max of a comma b. Now what is the value of a? 20. So it will be max of 20 comma what is the b value? 30. So you are passing the 20 and 30 to this function called max. Then it will look at the function definition. Where is the function definition? The function definition is here after the main function. Now you have the int and int x comma y. So the value 20 will be allocated to the variable x, and the value 30 will be allocated to the or assigned to the variable y. So these two are the local variables for this function. Okay, are you able to understand? So here you are passing 20 and 30, then x will be assigned with the value 20 and y will be assigned with the value 30. Now you are checking if x is greater than y. What is the x value? 20. Greater than 30. Whether this condition is true or false? Condition is false. If this condition is false, the statements which are there in the else block will be executed. What is the else block? Is the return y. So what is the return y? Return y means you are returning the value 30. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? So the maximum value is 30. How it will get 30? Once this function calling is happening, please remember this one. Even indirectly I said this one. When you are calling the function, you are going to the function definition section with these values 20 and 30. And once this function is completed with the return value 30, again it will come back to the function calling. So whatever the value it is returning an integer value called 30. That value will be assigned to the variable c. So now c is consists of value 30. Are you able to understand? So you are writing the maximum value is percentage d c. So 30 will be displayed. So between 20 and 30, maximum value is 30. That is what you are telling here. Are you able to understand it or not? Okay. If you have any doubts, please verify it again. If you have any doubts further, you can ask it in the comment section. Now let me discuss the few important points. Now whatever the return type you are specifying, you should specify here also. The name of the function should also be same. The number of parameters and the data type should also be same. Okay, and these parameters a and b are the local parameters for the function called main, and these parameters we will call it as actual parameters. Is it clear? And these parameters y and x are the local variables for this function called max, and these parameters we will call it as formal parameters. Okay, are you able to understand? This is your function declaration, this is your function calling statement, and this is the called function or the function definition. I hope you have understood. If you still have any doubts, please ask it in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. In the next video, I will discuss various types of functions based on the number of parameters and the return type. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.